Good morning and welcome to another day of National Holidays brought to you by me, your host, CK. If you are liking these videos, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any more of these videos. So today is Thursday, October 15th, and we have a lot of celebrations and holidays happening today. So buckle up and let's get started. First up, we have Global Handwashing Day, International ShakeOut Day, National Cheese Curd Day, National Grouch Day, National I Love Lucy Day, but we're not done. We have another page. And National Latino AIDS Awareness Day, National Mushroom Day, National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day, and finally, Maths Day. Wow. All right, that's a lot of holidays. So we might as well get started with the first one. All right, first up, Global Handwashing Day. You know what? I'm thinking we don't really need a day to do this because we've been hand washing extensively for about 7 months now. But anyways, these are some interesting facts about Global Hand Washing Day. In the 80s, Global Hand Washing Partnership created this day, and it was done at the World Water Week in Stockholm, Sweden. Also in the 80s, the first hand hygiene regulations were published nationally. That doesn't seem like too long ago, 80s, to be doing that. You'd think they would have been published a lot sooner. But anyways, in 2008, the first Global Hand Washing Day ever occurred, where over 120 million children around the world washed their hands with soap in more than 70 countries. This makes it sound like this is the first time children wash their hands with soap. But really, it was just bring awareness to the fact that not everybody has what they need to wash their hands. And then in 2019, the theme for Global Hand Washing Day was Life is Better with Clean Hands. Now, I don't know when they came up with this slogan or the theme, if this was pre-pandemic or after, but interesting. I thought it was kind of interesting that it not. But anyways, there's still more, though, on Global Hand Washing Day. Just some interesting facts itself. Hand care can reduce the mortality rate of respiratory diseases by 25%. And diarrhea diseases can be reduced by 50%. So, if that doesn't make you wash your hands, I don't know what will. And in 2008, during the inaugural hand washing event, the cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar and his teammates joined the global event. And interesting facts, only 60% of the world's population has the facilities, basic facilities, to do hand washing. There are 17 countries where more than 10 million people lack hand washing facilities. And in Ethiopia, only 0.1% of households have soap and water at the hand washing facility. I'm really curious what a hand washing facility is. This makes it sound like I need something other than a sink, water, and my soap in the house. Like, I feel like I need a special room to do hand washing because they call this a hand washing facility. Anyways, I just call it a washroom, or bathroom, whatever. Anyways, next. What's next? It's International ShakeOut Day, and this is actually about earthquake awareness. So, interesting is in 132 AD, the invention of the seismoscope happened, which is really weird. So, geographer Zheng Hang regarded as the first inventor of the seismograph. And in 1556, the deadliest earthquake happened. 830,000 people lost their lives in I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. China. China. On May 22nd of 1960, the strongest of all earthquakes happened. It was recorded in Valdivia, Chile, with 9.5 on the Richter scale. In 1964, the strongest earthquake was recorded in the U.S., hit Alaska with 9.2 on the Richter scale. November 13th, 2008, every ShakeOut drill took place, the first ShakeOut drill took place in California. It was known as the Great Southern California ShakeOut. And in 2016, 55 plus million people across the U.S. and more than 50 countries participated in the Great ShakeOut earthquake drills. And the big thing that they discovered that works the best to remind you what to do in an earthquake is right here, and that is drop, cover, and hold on. So that is what they recommend in the earthquake. To remember those 3 words, well, technically it's 4, 5. There we go, quick math. Drop, cover, and hold on. Also, more interesting facts just about earthquakes themselves. Most earthquakes occur at a depth of less than 50 miles below the surface of the earth. The Ring of Fire is the most active. Almost 80% of all the planet's earthquakes occur around countries that border the Pacific Ocean, which is the Ring of Fire. There are 500,000 earthquakes each year, which is crazy. Only 100 of those are strong enough to cause notable damage. And the moon has earthquakes too, known as moonquakes, and the sun and the moon can create tremors deep underground. Now, it's National Cheese Curd Day. This is a day I'm happy about, a good one to celebrate. Of course, it's about food, and if you haven't been watching, food and drinks are my favorite type of holidays. So, or to celebrate, really. If it's got food involved or drinks, yeah, I'm all about it. Anyways, so National Cheese Curd Day, really interesting. Like have you ever had cheese curds? I don't call them cheese curds. I actually call them just squeaky cheese because literally they squeak. But let's get started here on the timeline at least. So 12th century, the Celtic song Visions of Macgaloni mentioned cheese curds in its lyrics. Well, that just became my favorite song. It's about cheese. And in 1840, Wisconsin became the it place to produce cheese because of its rich farmland. And in 1922, Wisconsin's cheese factories grow more to... Let's try this again. In 1922, Wisconsin factories grow. There are over 2,800 cheese factories in Wisconsin. That's crazy. Now that explains why, if you want squeaky cheese, the place to go is Wisconsin. And in 20th century, cheese curds actually gain in popularity. In 2015, Culver's, which is a Midwestern restaurant chain, is the creator of the National Cheese Curd Day. Good job, Culver's. I approve. Also, interesting things about squeaky cheese. Like I already said, cheese curds squeak. Yep, that's true. It's real. Now, what I didn't know, it's also a sign of freshness. So the more squeak, the better freshness. Wisconsin cheese curds are so fresh because they take about 10 pounds of milk to produce 1 pound of cheese. That's a lot of milk. And don't worry if the squeak is gone or starts to fade, because apparently you didn't eat the squeaky cheese fast enough, which really is a shame, to be honest with you. If that happens, though, just pop it in the microwave for a little bit, and the squeak will be restored. And finally, the insides can vary in color from a yellow to a white. So, those are all the cheese curd facts that you need to know on National Cheese Curd Day. Also, it's National Grouch Day. really, this is all about celebrating, technically, Oscar Grouch, because today is his debut day on Sesame Street. And did you know, during the first season of Sesame Street, Oscar the Grouch was actually orange and not green. And the reason why he was orange is because back then, color TV couldn't really handle, I guess, the green. So they went with an orange that apparently better worked with the current technology to show color. But in 1970, the second season, basically, of Sesame Street, Oscar the Grouch came back, returned to the second season as green, and the reasoning they said he turned green is he went on vacation to the swampy, mushy, muddy, and turned green and never turned back to orange. So that was kind of interesting. In 2012, Tartar Sauce, aka Grumpy Cat, became the internet celebrity after a picture of her wound up on Reddit. Remember Grumpy Cat? Many people do. If you don't, I don't know where you've been living, but it has populated a lot of memes. And also on Grouch Day, Oscar the Grouch began, and Big Bird sang a famous song, I Love Trash, on The Colbert Report. And that's all the things you get to know about National Grouch Day. Just because it's National Grouch Day, though, doesn't mean you should go and be a grouch. I get it. We wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes. We're running late, whatever. We might be a little grouchy, but this doesn't give you the right to treat people because you are having a bad day to treat people bad. So, do your best if you know you're being grouchy to, stop and think before you say something out of grouchiness. Give yourself a couple seconds, okay? That's it. But it is National Grouchy Day. At least you can celebrate Oscar the Grouch. I give you permission to do that. But I don't give you permission to be grouchy to other people. Also, it is I Love Lucy Day. Wow, lots of holidays. Anyways, so interesting truths about Lucy is the show was actually one of the first Hollywood film shows. It actually was taped, though, in L.A. since the Arnazes, which is the actual last name, didn't want to move away. So that was kind of cool. And it is one of the first shows to actually do reruns. And they actually did reruns before the whole show ended. And the reason why they did reruns is they gave Lucille Ball a chance to have pregnancy and be on maternity leave. And that was basically the birth of rerun television. It did really, really well. And they hit the magic 10 million viewers. And it was the first American television show to reach 10 million households. So that's pretty cool. And Ricky Ricardo was almost Larry Lopez in the show. But the reason why they didn't do that is they didn't think the name Larry and Lucy was a good combo. And the episodes were filmed almost seamlessly. There were 3 cameras on the set. They all went in at the same time, and they rarely had to retape. It was also one of the first shows to have a live audience from start to finish. And guess what? None of those episodes had laugh tracks or the audience was told to laugh. I thought that was pretty cool. All that laughter, if you've ever watched a I Love Lucy show, that is all natural laughter, and most of that was a one cut or one take kind of cut scenes, which I think is pretty cool. So, also, it was the first sitcom to be shot in 35mm film in front of a live audience. But there's more I Love Lucy stuff. In 1953, I Love Lucy debuted on CBS. It was the very first episode of I Love Lucy, though, was in 1951 on this day. And in 1953, over 71% of the nation watched Lucy Goes to the Hospital episode. And apparently toilets stopped flushing in parts of the country. when it aired. So basically what I'm saying is so many people were glued to their TV watching it that they didn't get up to go to the bathroom. So that's what my assuming is. I have no idea though, because I don't recall this episode. In 2002, TV Guide honored I Love Lucy show with its ranking as the second greatest show of all time. And in 2007, I Love Lucy landed on Time's magazine list 100 best TV shows of all time. And it's also National Hispanic HIV Awareness Day. And the reason why it is National Hispanic Day is because this is supposed to land in the middle of National Hispanic Month. And the number of AIDS and HIV cases are about 25% of those who get a positive test result from that are of Hispanic background. So, but these are interesting individuals on the fight of HIV. So Rock Hudson, before his death in 1985, went public with his AIDS diagnosis. He was the first major public figure to do so. Martin Delaney, one of the AIDS original activists, lobbied the government and FDA to fast-track treatments. He also smuggled in drugs from Mexico in order to conduct his own trials. Elizabeth Glasher founded the Pediatric AIDS Foundation after her and her daughter contracted HIV from a blood transfusion. And Magic Johnson revealed he was HIV positive in 91, and then he went on to create the Magic Johnson Foundation, which tackles HIV and AIDS through education, testing, and treatment. So I thought that was kind of neat. And it's also National Mushroom Day. And for me, I'm not a huge mushroom fan. I like mushrooms, but after this one, I might be a better mushroom fan. So first up, there's a mushroom that tastes like fried chicken. The Latoporus mushroom. I am going to be on the hunt for this mushroom because I would totally eat mushrooms if it tasted like fried chicken. Yeah. And I could, even it really does taste like fried chicken, I might even be able to become a vegetarian or something. Because if it tastes like chicken, So yeah, I really want to try that one out. And anyways, some mushrooms are the same, just at different ages, which I thought was kind of cool, because I did not know this. So button mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, and white mushrooms are actually the same, just at different levels of maturity. Who knew? I did not know that, and I thought that was kind of cool. And lighting causes mushrooms to become more abundant. So if you ever grow mushrooms, make sure they get their proper light. And white truffles are the most expensive. They're subterranean muffins, and some have been known to sell for $330,000. I don't think I've ever had a white truffle, but because that would be probably a very expensive dish from what I understand. If it costs that much for 3.3 pounds, I can't even imagine what it would cost just for a little sliver of a white truffle. But also, interesting timeline about mushrooms. In 1707, edible fungi successfully cultivated in a controlled environment for a vegetable garden. In 1950, the first above-ground mushroom nursery was built. I didn't even realize that there were mushroom nurseries, but apparently there are. And in 55, cultivation processes turned to a wooden box in trays, and then in 75, metal trays became the preferred method to cultivate mushrooms. All these things I find very interesting, because to me, you would think you would just plant them outside. But I guess if you have a nursery, yeah. I wonder why metal works better than wood. Yeah. Anyways, I digress. It's also National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. In 1988, on October 25th, President Reagan marked October as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. In October 2002, Robin Beer, Lisa Brown, Tammy Novak began the movement to bring awareness to pregnancy and infant loss across the nation. And in 2004, International Wave of Light began. This is where you light a candle at 7 p.m. in order to create a wave of light across the world. So if you have time tonight, whether that is a real candle or just a regular, electric, candle or light bulb that looks like a candle, if you can, tonight at 7 p.m., go ahead and light or turn on that candle. And finally, it is Maths Day. I like math. So, what do we know about math? 6th century BCE, Pythagoreans, which are followers of Pythagoras, didn't realize that was a thing. Okay, creates the word mathematics. In 1970, the first educational computer game called Logo was created by Seymour Papert and Wally Fierzig. Interesting. I've never heard of that. In 2009, Common Core Math was implemented throughout the U.S. schools in order to prepare them for college. I grew up before that, and I was well prepared mathematically to go to college for the maths that I needed as an engineer. So I'm not quite sure what Common Core is going to do for people to prepare them for maths in college, especially if you're doing higher level engineering type math. I cannot imagine trying to do my calculations the way Common Core has taught kids to do stuff. That's insane. That's crazy. Especially when you get into differential equations and all that other stuff. And thermodynamics and yeah. So, no to Common Core math. I'm sorry. Stupid. It's stupid. Anyways, World Maths Day 2020 set the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest math competition with 1,204,766 participants in 235 countries in 2010. That's a lot. So if you homeschool, or even if you don't, maybe you can do some extra fun type maths with your kiddos today. And that, folks, is all of today's national holidays. Don't forget, I'm your host, CK, that brings you national holidays every day. If you like these videos, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any other videos in the future. Also, just to let you know, I go live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and in this week's episode, I will be reviewing the movie Tenet, which I had to go into a real theater to see. So if you want to know what my review is, make sure you tune in Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to catch the live. But I understand that you are busy, you got things going on, but you can always catch the replay. So with that, that's all I have for today's national holidays. I hope you found something to enjoy, celebrate, learn something new, and I'll see you all again here tomorrow for another round of national holidays. Bye-bye.